Hi, this is Catherine Moore Mincy, and this is my collaborative groups presentation. In the beginning of the school year, all the children are going to be given a number after being put in alphabetical order by their first names, and every student will have a name tag on their desks with their number on it to remind them of their number. This number will also tell the students which groups they will be in for collaborative groups. I will have number magnets on the dry erase boards, and I will line the magnets into groups when needed. This will apply for regular group work. For group work that will last more than a couple of school days, I will put names on a sheet of paper and hang it in the classroom. Beginning groups. Before I have all of my data, I will have the students get into groups of their own. I will make the stipulation that no one can be excluded. I will let my students sit by their best friend during regular class time to help them with their work or for think, pair, share activities. This will allow me to see how the class interacts with one another, are any cliques, or possible bullying happening. A questionnaire that I will create will have some of these questions on it. Do they like to read themselves aloud or be read to? What are their favorite subject, video game, TV, movie, book, and or activity? Who is their best friend? Is there anyone that they do not like working with? Have they done group or pair work before? Do they like it? Or do they like working alone? What did they like or dislike about it? Do they consider themselves a leader, scholar, collaborator, or just a listener? And then I want them to put the assignments in order of what they like to do, such as worksheets, written reports, oral reports, diagrams, poster board, models, acting out a scene from a book, collages, and diagrams. Is there another method used to complete an assignment they possibly would enjoy? Other questions may be presented, and this will help me figure out how to group them, and also knowing what kind of assignments they like will tell me what kind of students I have. I will create the groups according to their dislikes, likes, and friends and personalities. For example, for reading groups, I want to group all of my sports or action readers together in groups. Or I might have two students who don't like working in groups, so I might assign those students to work together as a pair and tell them that they can work alone for part of the time, but they must share ideas, information, and opinions to create a single project. This would allow them to have their individuality while still maintaining group work. Heterogeneous grouping will be used unless unavailable. I'll have types of collaborative groups such as pairs check. This is where you have a group of 4 and they work in pairs. They work on exercises and one member teaches the other member how to do a problem, and then they switch. And they make sure that the problems are correct before they present the problem to the other pair in the group. This works really well for matching heterogeneous students. Pair check 2, this is the same as pairs check, except the students do the exercises individually before getting into groups, and then they discuss their answers. I might also do jigsaw. This is where you have reading material that you break up and you pass it out to different groups, and then the children, after reading it, they discuss the material in their groups, and then one member from each group gets into another group, and that way all of the material is shared with each group and discussed. Or word mapping. This is concept mapping, which I know all of us have done, and this would work really well as a whole group exercise or as small group exercising. Group jobs: manager, captain, reader, encourager, checker, writer, artist, and presenter. All of these jobs are important, but the bolded jobs need to be in every group, even if the other jobs are not. In groups of 2 to 4 students, some might have multiple jobs or share jobs. I would use information from the questionnaire about the student's personality and whether they choose themselves to be a leader, scholar, collaborator, or just a listener. I will allow students to choose which job they want to do unless I decide to rotate jobs because I feel that everyone is not being given a turn, or I want to see how a student performs in a particular job. Group area design. This is the physical arrangement of the classroom. Right here I'll have the desks in a U shape, and this way the students can quickly get into pairs and groups. When I need them to stay in their desks, they can just turn their desks, or they can go around the room. The letters on the floor will be written in masking tape, and they will be spread out, and that will designate where they can set up groups. As you can see, A, B, C, D, E, F. This is how it's set up on the dry erase board. Here are the magnets with the groups numbers listed, and they would grow to group B, or excuse me, they would go to the B spot on the floor. And then down at the bottom you see group A 2, 7, 14. That's how it would be written on the paper. I would also, for group discussions, I would set around these rules. I will separate each group as far away from each other as possible to help control the noise in the classroom, and I'll also ask students to talk in a quiet voice. And I will moderate each group's volume by reminding them to lower their voices if they get too loud. I will also insist on professional civil conduct in the group and between students, and the use of negative words or ganging up on one another will not be tolerated. I will expect the students to embrace each other's differences and create an inclusive environment. The group rules. I will have my own set of rules for the students already created, but I will explain to the students and ask for suggestions in case I decide to change a rule or add a rule. This will allow the students to make them feel like they have control over the group process. Rules for groups will be printed out and put into Page Protector so that each group has a set in which they can refer. And these are my responsibilities. I am to explain the task clearly that each group will be working on, prepare written instruction for the students that can be passed out so they can refer to them easily without having to ask the teacher, set ground rules for group interaction, let students ask questions to ensure understanding, provide closure to the group activities, whether it is clean-up time, presentation time, etc., and ask students to reflect on the group process individually and as a group through surveys and peer reviews are helpful. This will allow the teacher to see where things need to change or can stay the same. Thank you